tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK, born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen, and as always, we have a lot to talk about. Trade season has begun, and we're going to talk about whether or not the Knicks should even consider trades at this point, or if they should just settle down with this team, allow it to rock out, see, what they have before looking to make changes. And if they are going to make changes, are they going to look to make a big trade, a relatively big trade? Can't do a huge trade, or just something super small around the edges. We'll talk about that. The Knicks play Minnesota on Thursday. Cat's going home. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of emotion there for him. Will he be able to hone that emotion and still play well for us? Randall is playing pretty well over there. I'm sure he's going to be ready. And Debo is not playing that great, but I expect him to be a sniper that game. We have a lot more to talk about. Let me bring in the panel. Jerrell, Die Hard Giants Live podcast, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. But this week we'll be going Thursday, 9 p.m., right before the Knicks and Minnesota game. Ajay, the villain, is in the house, the producer behind the show, taking care of the chat. Listen, if your comments don't make it up, complain to Ajay, all right? How everybody doing?
Yeah, salute everybody, man. I missed the show last week. I was feeling a little bit under the weather. This week, Geoff is feeling a little bit under the weather as well. So salute to Geoff. Hope he gets well. We're going to try to hold it down for him tonight.
Yes, definitely. And we may have some guests pop in.
Okay.
But if not, we're going to hold it down. All right?
Yep.
All right.
We'll try to hold it down.
Shout out to the chat, Darlene Bryant. Hit them up. Double D.
Darlene.
Appreciate you guys early in the building. So let's get right into it. Trade season has begun. Like I said in the intro, I think for us, the only one on our team that can be traded at this point is Campaign. Right? At some point, Precious Achiuwa will be able to be traded, but not yet. So he's the only one that can be traded on this team right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about not just right now, just the trade season has begun, period. At some point, it'll be Precious Achiuwa. Obviously, the rookies can be traded. And I'm not saying we want to do this. I'm just saying who's available to be traded.
Mm-hmm.
Precious at some point. Mitch, of course, even though he's injured. Campaign. Pretty much the entire roster is just, when can you trade them? Anyway, the question I have for the panel and the chat as well is, should the Knicks be even looking to upgrade the roster, even looking to make a trade at this point? Or should they just stand pat? Mitch is coming back, hopefully at some point. Shamit, play his first game, in the G League. So perhaps he's on his way. Should the Knicks be looking to upgrade, or should they just stand pat and let this team gel?
I actually think it's a little bit too early for me. I don't really get why people think that we should make a trade right now. Like maybe towards the deadline to see where we're at. But last 15 games, I think we're 11-4. We're the number one offensive team in the league in that span. I think we're shooting the best out of that span. I know the defense needs some work still, but I think the defense is more so, like I said before, as long as the same guys are playing, the chemistry will grow. I don't think bringing in somebody else right now will help that at all. I think it, waiting at least until the All-Star break or around the trade deadline. But right now, before Christmas, no, I wouldn't be looking to make a move right now.
Okay. Now I was talking about in general. So
Okay.
for you, it's just the timing, not
Yes.
right now, but taking into account the whole season,
Mhm.
and it's even close to the trade deadline. Do you think they should be looking then, or should they just let this team rock out for the rest of the season?
I mean, maybe like we still have like a whole month and a half for that to go. Mitch is a big part of that, like whether or how fast he's going to come back to try to help this team. Like it's a whole lot of factors that go into that for me for right now. But yeah, sure, look to make an upgrade or so if if things are wrong. But as of right now, I don't see that happening. Like I actually think we're going to be better. So I guess in the back of my mind, I don't think it's going to happen. So I can't really say it is going to happen. But yeah, if we are playing badly or if things aren't looking right still, then yeah, definitely you could definitely try to, if a move can be made, make the move. I don't mind. Like I'm trying to win a championship, so I don't care if a certain guy goes, as long as this team, if they do make a move, I feel that is a real good upgrade, then yeah, do it. But as of right now, I wouldn't hit the panic button too soon.
Okay. Kind of what I'm hearing from you is you need to see more
Right.
in terms of whether or not this team is going to need a trade at the deadline.
Right.
Because Shamit, Mitch, other internal improvement can happen between now and the deadline.
Right.
And in that case, nothing needs to be made. All right. Ajay, have you seen enough to believe that the Knicks need to make a trade at some point, big or small? When I say big, I mean like small, big.
a biggie small,
small.
a biggie small one.
New Biggie Smalls, always, forever.
Or do you feel like you need to see more as well before making that determination?
I've
Have you
seen
enough.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough. And all the shows we've done so far this season, I've been saying that the defense is going to get better. We eventually going to be top 10 or top 5 and stuff like that. Top 10 in NBA, top 5 in the East. I don't see it moving in that direction, and I'm very disappointed with that. I think we need to figure out a way to make our defense better. We're an excellent offensive team. Well, but the defense, you can't count on that every night, because some nights you're just not going to be able to shoot the ball well, and you're going to need the defense to bring it home. We're going to need we have to do something with the defense. So what do we do? I don't know, but I've seen enough to know that this team, as currently structured, with the defense is not where it needs to be. And I don't know if, we probably going to have to tweak something here to get to the defense we want.
So you don't want to wait to see what's going to happen with Shamit and Mitch when guys are playing less minutes. Maybe they can put out more energy, put out more energy. Maybe, Mitch can help the second unit, play with Cat, play behind Cat. You even with that, or you don't even want to wait for that.
No, so we've seen the Mitch movie before. And I don't know if we can count on that. I know people listen, when Mitch is Mitch, yeah, like I wouldn't worry because I wouldn't know he's coming back, but we don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen. Okay. And you really never know. But with Mitch, they're saying he's coming back late January and February. Then he needs a month or 6 weeks to get in game shape and to get in sync with the rest of the team. Like, and by that time, man, do you really want to go into the playoff just trying to get in? It's just, that's not where we want to be. I mean, and listen, it depends on what we want to accomplish, right? In the beginning of the season, I know we made trades so we could beat Boston or be up there with Boston. Right now, you have Boston, Cleveland, and I'm talking about the East, and then the rest of us. Okay? Those teams are far better than the third team, which is the Knicks. We're not trying to be the best of the other teams. We want to be up there with the big boys. with the Boston Celtics. So if that's the goal, I've seen enough, and we're not there yet. So we need to do something to get there.
Oh, okay. More than just maturing over time. So what I'm hearing from you is that this is not a gelling chemistry issue. This is a roster construction.
This is a roster construction, and structurally something's missing. I don't know what it is. You know, the big boys in the front office, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but something's clearly not this something's got to be done. I don't know what it is.
All right. Delusional, welcome back. It's been a minute. How you been?
Delusional.
I'm good, family.
Oh.
What's going on?
Hey,
Queen, Jerrell, Ajay. Definitely missed you guys. Chat. Missed everyone. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to talk Knicks.
Awesome.
All right. Listen, before I hit you with the question we've been discussing.
Oh no, I've been listening.
All right. Since this is your first time back, I think this season, right, with this particular group, just give me your overall thoughts.
For the initial trade, caught me by surprise, to be honest with you. I was totally shocked. I was ready to run that team back with a full unit with Julius, with the bench. You know, we probably was the deepest team at that time if we would have kind of went forward. Obviously, we would have been down Mitch, which was a key aspect to the trade. First game, you know, we got destroyed by Boston, and it kind of deterred me from that whole Cat situation. I was one of the individuals that, Cat is soft, you know, he needs to, you know, he played a certain way. How would that translate into New York? And then gradually that man just turned my whole mindset around. Just his old demeanor, his aura, you know, him buying Knick attire from almost every Knick venue that there is, and him showcasing his ability of being efficient. You know, and then for the Knicks teams that we had prior before, we never fed the big on that pick and roll as much. So that was an adjustment that I wanted to see Brunson make, which he has phenomenal, obviously, over time. The team is just solid team overall. It's just these little losses here and there that we can definitely make up. Little mishap of the Hawks game, the Utah game. You know, those games you come up, it's like, all right, this is an easy dub, and we take a loss due to, it's like, what is it? Is it effort? Is the fact that certain teams are switching up on from the first half to the second half of how they play against us, and we're not adjusting? Who knows? But overall, it's weird because those losses, you look at the column, like, we're still top of the lead in certain percentages, you know, offensive rating, we still, you know, top 15 in defensive rating. So it's like, we're at a good spot. Like, why do we still feel like it's something missing? So, you know, as Knicks fans, we never satisfied, but I feel good where we at because it's early in the season, so we got time to adjust.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Are the Knicks better or worse than their current record? You know, because the sense I get from most Knicks fans is that the Knicks are worse than their record. So we'll talk about that.
Definitely.
But the question on tap is with trade season beginning, not everybody can be traded. Some players can be traded. This is the beginning of it. Should the Knicks be looking to upgrade this roster this season, or should they just let this team rock out? Or is December, like right now, it's just too soon to tell? What's your take on that?
If I know Leon Rose, he's 100% going to make a trade. Because Tibbs is literally, he's playing a 7-8 man rotation mostly, but he's utilizing more guards than the forward aspect. So I'm assuming he wants to utilize Bridges and OG, you know, the amount of most minutes to be their lead defenders. But for me, my perspective, I feel like that's where we're getting killed at, is when we're going smaller, we're getting destroyed on the boards, or we're getting beat in certain mismatches. So I believe that they would make a trade, probably go for a 6'9" individual that can pretty much 3-and-D, someone that they can bring in, kind of fill that spot from the forward, someone that can switch on, you know, bigger bigs and, you know, smaller guards, and that can actually defend and switch more. You saw when Precious first came back, And we went that whole 5 out. We were switching a lot. When he was the 5, you had the OG and you had the Hart lineup, and so we were switching, and we played well during that game, being able to switch and do that. So just finding someone that we can add there. Or he can go the route with just wait till everyone comes. But knowing him, I think we'll make a trade. I think it's needed.
So okay, so you do think we
I do, because it was a statistic that we saw on Twitter saying that the Knicks bench only plays like 60 either 60 minutes or something per game or the less, but pretty much the last in the league as far as bench minutes, and pretty much the lowest minutes in like the last 19 seasons. So that's crazy. You don't want to see a stat like that early in the year, that our bench is not getting burned, and what that's going to lead to for us, pretty much Knicks fans saying at the end of the year, these players are burnt out. That's pretty much the excuse that we used last year. That's pretty much the excuse that surrounding Tibbs per se, is that he burns out. You even have players that played for Tibbs. It's like, yeah, no, for the most part, he's going to want those regular season dubs, and by the playoff time, who has the gas to pretty much be ready for it. So that's my thought process into it is, yeah, during this time period, go get someone that we can actually bring in to shorten the time span for these players. It only makes sense.
Yeah, get somebody Tibbs trust.
That's it. Yeah.
So that OG Hart and Mikal Bridges.
Can I throw out a player if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
We literally had him on the roster. Wait, we literally had him on the roster to begin the season.
Okay.
Smooth.
Who?
Morris.
Oh, Morris. Okay.
You had Morris. You had him in the beginning of the season. That's someone that who can play the 3. He can play the 4. He can play defense, perimeter jump shot, 3-point jump shot. Why not find ways to kind of bring him back?
You don't see him more as a 4-5 at this point in his career than a 3-4?
I mean, it's however Tibbs want to play. I think he can still play either or. If you want to stretch it to the 5 per se, then if we going against smaller lineups, I think he still can.
Okay.
I believe so. Because look, the 3 nowadays is what? I mean, Braun, KD, Luka, these are all 6'8", 6'9" guys for the most part. So I think so.
Yeah.
And what is going to cost you, because we're already second tier team per se. So try to figure out to make that work.
Close to it. I think we're like 550,000, 60,000 away from the second apron. The Knicks are hard capped at the second apron above. Anyway, they cannot go above that at any point this season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious, other than the starting 5, obviously, who would you be willing to trade, and for what? Obviously, it depends on, like, you'd be willing to give up more depending on the player. We don't have said player in mind, like a particular player, but we have a particular position. So what position would you like the Knicks to upgrade, and what would you be willing to give up for that upgrade?
Yeah, shoot, that's tough. Because me per se, Queen, I actually want Precious to play more. I would like Precious to play more.
I think they just easing him in. I think he will.
I would definitely like Precious, so I wouldn't move him. It's tough. It's tough to say, because I actually, if you would ask the question for me, would I want to make a trade? I wouldn't make a trade. So that would cover up what I'm about to say now. I wouldn't make the trade, because from the previous show, I want to keep Mitch. I want to see what we can do with Mitch when he comes back. And he could be that great deterrent, that great center that we need. I think that's the final piece. And if Tibbs is willing to play Cat at the 4, which changes everything. It seems like, is he reluctant to play Cat at the 4? Does he want to play Hakoporti? There's certain things that Tibbs is thinking of that we have no clue. But for me, I would keep the same team. So I wouldn't trade anyone, because I would like to play bigger. I would like to have Cat, playing besides Mitch, or Cat with Hakoporti, or you can have
full time or in
No. This is spurts. We're talking spurts.
Okay.
We're talking spurts. Definitely
I'm with
spurts.
you.
Like for
I'm with
me, if we can start, I would start Cat at the 4 and put Mitch at the 5, and then OG, Bridges, and then Brunson. Because we know that when Cat was at the 4 and he had a solid defensive big with them, they were top team in defensive rating in Minnesota. So that's the lineup that I want, going into the playoffs or eventually. So going big, I think, helps us out on a lot of angles. But then, of course, the 5 out, we see what that does offensively. It's pretty much number 1 rated. So it's a give or take. Do you want to be top 10 in defense or top 10 in offense? But I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade anybody at the moment.
All right. So basically, you would stay pat.
I'll stay back. Yeah.
All right. Jerrell, then Ajay.
Yeah, Steph, that is a very, very hard question.
You got to give the get.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm listening to Delusional. I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, like, who would I want to get rid of and for what? Like to me, if I do get rid of somebody, because I kind of agree with Delusional, like I said before, like I kind of want to stand pat, and I think this team is actually going to be better. I think they're going up, not down. So I don't know. It would have to be somebody really dynamic. Like I don't know if we need another dynamic defensive wing now that Bridges is playing better defense and he looks more comfortable. So that that worry for me is not gone away completely, but he has stepped up the past couple weeks. So maybe another big man like we were talking about, but I don't see that person yet, except for like Vucevic, like we was talking about before. But yeah, it'll have to be somebody like Campaign and Precious. I don't want to give up Deuce. And you said non-starters. We only play like 3 people off the bench anyway. So I don't know who, like, other than that, who would you give up? It would have to be.
Well, you could give up the rookies as well. I'm not saying I would. I'm just putting it out there because people are like, oh, we need trades. We got to do this. You got to do it. But the flip side of that is who are you willing to give up?
Right. When it comes to the rookies, yeah, I'm willing to give up any of them if it's somebody that can help us right now win a championship. I'm not really stuck on any of the rookies. That's why I don't even really count them. But yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely wouldn't want to give up like Deuce and Precious or Cameron Payne. It just depends on what we getting back. And without that person, it's hard to tell. It's hard for me to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna throw some people in a little bit.
Okay.
Ajay?
Man, that's tough. That's tough. And like Jerrell said, I'm reading the chat. I'm not giving up Deuce. I'm not giving up Precious. I'm not giving up Campaign.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And it's tough because the guys that are playing minutes, I don't want to give up any of them. So, we need like a sucker team to take like somebody at the end of the bench for something good.
For something good.
Yeah, man. It's tough. We're in a tough predicament. So the front office, they're gonna have to like really, really study this and see what they can spare, because the problem we have problem on defense and rebounds, right? And all the guys we mentioned here are guys who put the effort in defending and trying to rebound. And Precious, he tries to rebound. He fights for the rebounds. Campaign and Deuce, those guys, they play defense. They try. So you don't. It's a tough situation. I don't know who I would give up.
Right, that's always going to be tough because our 2 best players are our worst defenders.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
And then the one guy who's totally out of position, in my opinion, Josh Hart, he's probably been our best player, like consistently, since the beginning of the season.
Right.
So you can't. It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, I think it is going to be tough, but you got to give to get. And
why?
And I think, listen, when the trade came up, I don't think the Knicks wanted to give away DiVincenzo. They didn't, not in that trade. They didn't want to. I heard somebody, I was listening to a lot of podcasts today, and somebody said, if you make a trade and it don't hurt a little, then the player wasn't worth it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, we might have to hurt a little, not bleed out, but we might have to hurt a little to get a player that we need. Now, I'm personally, I want this team to rock out. I want this team to rock out now but I'm also thinking about Mitch and Shamit on the team, right? Helping that second unit. I want this team to rock out because for me, I'm not looking at this as a one season thing. I'm looking at this as the Knicks have a 4-year window, if not longer, to win a championship. And this is just the first piece. This is the evaluation piece. See how far you can go. But there's levels to this, And so after this season, we're going to have a better sense about this team and what we need. Right after 27 games, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to like. To me, we have a longer window. I don't feel like we have to rush and do things just for, just for this season. Now, if Shamit wasn't coming back, if Mitch wasn't coming back, if we were just dealing with this 8, then yes, I think you do have to do something. But at that point, you got 10 players that you can pick from in terms of who's going to be in your 9-man rotation. And then you got some situational guys. As the season goes on and the prorated salary goes down from TJ Warren and Okeke, maybe you could squeeze them in if you were able to move Sims or somebody, because you would still need to move somebody even at that prorated salary. So I'm inclined to just stick with this team and those who are supposed to be coming back. Now, if somebody, like, for whatever reason, Herb Williams becomes Herb Williams, wow. Herb Jones becomes available. I don't think he will. Reports are that they're looking, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, like those type of guys may be available, but they're going to keep their young guys. But let's just say Herb Jones was to become available. What you want? Other than the starting unit? Yes. Herb Jones can play.
Yeah.
Somebody look up his shooting. I don't think he's a great 3-point shooter at this point. I think he's gotten better though. But his ability to play 3-4.
Do you know what salary we have to match by hand?
I think it's 12. I want to say it's 12.
I'll look it up.
Million. So and yeah. I don't think he would be available. I'm just saying, for example, if he was, yeah. As much as I like McBride, I would put McBride in a trade for Herb Jones.
Yeah, he made pretty much 13 this year, 14 next year, and 15 the year after that. So he's 3 more years. Beautiful. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they would want Mitch, because they have a young center in Missy, I think his last name is Missy is his last name. So they may not want Mitch. I just feel like I don't always agree with let me see if I can find a comment. I don't always agree with Parrish Duggar, but he said Mitch, Deuce, Precious, Kolick, Pac-Man. Who's Pac-Man?
Doc on Pavia. Yeah.
Sims and Hawkporty are all on the table for the final piece.
I mean, honestly, they should be.
Already got the final. I thought Bridges was the final piece. I think this would be more like a bench, a bench piece. But I agree with that sentiment. Depending on who the player is. Jerrell?
I was about to say, if we get Herb Jones, he's starting. Probably Josh Hart come back off the bench. He's not starting over Herb Jones. Not if we need defense like that. He's a better defender.
Yeah, 6'7", 7-foot wingspan. So yeah, I mean,
much more switchable. But what is he a good rebounder too? Because you're gonna need that in that lineup too.
Yeah, I think I'd rather, if I had a choice between stellar defense over Josh Hart's rebounds, I'm gonna take the stellar defense. Because it's not like Josh Hart isn't like whenever he comes into the game, he's going to rebound. Like he's going to play a lot of minutes still. I just don't think he'll be starting anymore.
Right. Yeah,
But that defense with Herb Jones, Mikal Bridges, and OG on the floor at the same time, yeah. But no, I don't think he's a rebounder like Josh Hart. And he's probably not a better, all around facilitator or basketball player than Josh Hart. But Josh Hart knows how to come off the bench. He's done it before.
Yeah. Salute, Quiet Money. Been a minute.
Salute.
Appreciate you stopping by. So there's been reports about Vucevic from the Chicago Bulls being available. Not just him. Lonzo Ball is available. Zach LaVine is available. But as far as the Knicks are concerned, there's been articles written about Vucevic. I don't know about the front office interest in him. But to me, he does allow you to play the same, right? If he plays behind Cat, he does allow you to play the same type of offense, so you won't have to change up anything. He can shoot the three. He stretches the floor. He's a good passer as well. You won't have to change much when he comes in. Defensively, though, it changes nothing.
It don't.
Now, if it was a Hartenstein type player, that would be perfect.
But I said, can we trade for Hartenstein?
Right, no. And that would be perfect because you would get defense and rim protection and ball movement, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. So just your thoughts on Vucevic and conceptually your thoughts on a center where you can continue to play the same or a center who gives you some versatility defensively that could play with Cat and behind Cat. I know Jerrell said Vucevic can play with Cat as well, and he could on offensively anyway. But what's your preference in terms of that backup center position? Ajay, let's start with you.
I don't know if Vucevic brings what we need. Like we lacking on defense and rebounding. I mean, I don't know what are his rebounding numbers.
10 a game. He's a good rebounder.
10 a game. He's a good rebounder. Yeah, but he don't scare nobody. Like he ain't stopping nobody from going through the hole.
No.
Like they'll climb right up in his face and do whatever they do. So he's not
all that. I don't know.
But I mean, listen, we've seen him play. We know what he does and what he doesn't do. So he's not going to help us in that sense. I personally, I wouldn't go for that. And I don't know. I don't know unless I don't know how the money would work. I don't know unless they want Jericho Sims and whatever for him, but I'm not.
That's not enough. I think he's 20 million. So
so I wouldn't give up Mitch and Jericho for him. You know what I'm saying?
You would have to. Mitch would have to go.
Well, I know, but for the money. That's what I'm saying. That's why I picked Mitch. But I wouldn't do that. Even though Mitch, I just said like you can't count on him coming back and be ready in time. I still wouldn't give up because even. I'd rather have Mitch and wait, a few months to get Mitch in game shape than have Vooch because he's not going to help us in that, in what we need.
Yeah. I can't say I disagree. Jerrell?
I would rather have somebody that's more versatile on the defensive end. Like you said, I think he's a good player, but I just don't think he's right for the Knicks. Maybe if you would have said that before we got Cat, completely different situation. But now that Cat is here, I don't think we need somebody like him. If they do it, I'd be kind of shocked. But, it is what it is if they do that. But I don't see that in our future. I don't think he's right for the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Delusional?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't even see Tibbs even looking in that direction, to be honest with you. That's not his style of bigs if we look at his history. And it's like how would we play that? You know, we that caliber of a player coming off the bench, you know, like I probably couldn't see that happen. And he's what, a 20-9 guy. Like you said, we would have to give up, you know, a lot more pieces to add him. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The play I would like just doesn't exist on the market, and that's somebody who could rebound, defend, play behind Cat, and play beside Cat, and we don't give up anything on offense, or we don't give up much on offense. With whoever this player would be at the 5, they're not out there. So whoever we bring in to play the 5 with Cat, definitely our offense is going to take a hit for the minutes that they're
Can I throw out a scenario?
Sure.
If you don't mind. Now I wouldn't take this route, but it's something that I definitely looked at because I wanted to kind of dig in for that center position. I would rather keep Mitch. I would rather pretty much go in with Mitch. If we do go a route with someone healthy, this player literally makes $5 million, $2 million contract for the next 2 years. It's Andre Drummond in Philly. $5 million per year. Right now he's what, 8 and 9. He's back up Embiid. Obviously, they don't expect Embiid to play all year, but Drummond is that player. $5 million, you can work something with that money. Throw in 2 second-round draft picks if you need to. That can be pretty much anyone off that bench that we're not even utilizing per se. Or if you got to throw in Hakoporti, or you have to throw in Packham. You know, you can kind of make that work for a seasoned vet that you know Tibbs will play Drummond. He will play Drummond.
I don't know. This is what I'll say about Drummond. He's a really good rebounder, an excellent rebounder. He's not a really good defensive player. So I thought you were going Nick Richards, who makes the same.
I figured we tried that route already. I believe we went down that rabbit hole, and we couldn't agree with the Hornets on that. I believe they definitely tested the waters on that. So that's why I didn't want to bring that up. Probably I wanted to go south on that on that one.
The only thing that may change in Charlotte now is that Mark Williams is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
How long he'll be healthy, that remains to be seen. But he is healthy now, so. I just don't know what the Knicks would be able to give up to get a Nick Richards.
He's making $5 million.
5.
Jericho and a rookie.
You mean like picks wise?
Even to match the salary, I was thinking.
Well, how much does Jericho Sims make?
2.
And one of the rooks. And like 10 second-round picks.
To be honest, I wouldn't trade any of our rookies. Like I know I have the reputation of not liking the young guys.
All right.
But for me, it's not liking the young guys this season. Right. You know, to put them, to count on them this season. Not that they can't give you good minutes throughout the course of the season, but to put them in a rotation and count on them game in and game out, I'm not for that. But I like these 3 rookies. In 2 or 3 years, they can very much be in our rotation. So
wait, who's the third one? We got Hawkport. Oh yeah, Kolick. Okay.
4 McCullough. We don't even talk about.
Look, Hakoporti should be in the rotation right now as we speak.
And so is Dottie. Dottie is pretty good, man. You know, kid, like not getting heavy minutes, but at least getting a little burnt.
Queen, beginning of the season, he was giving us solid 8 minutes. That's all we need. 8 minutes. That's all we need.
How old is Nick?
Queen, you'd get rid of Jacob Toppin stuff.
Yeah,
but he ain't make no money. He make like his money want to help.
We didn't even mention him. Yeah. Nick Richards is.
Listen, if we're in a dire situation right now where we have to play a rookie, I'm fine with Hakoporti. But if this is a championship team, yeah, my preference would be to have a rookie backup at center. If you're really talking about winning the championship,
you would play Huck 40. Here comes KNICK in 5, 4, 3, 2.
But for now, for where we are right now, without a lot of options, I don't have a problem with Huck 40. But we in a playoff series or whatever, like come on, you gotta have some vets in these positions, in my
I
opinion.
don't know. I might explore the Nick Richards thing, especially with like Hawk Porty and some second round picks.
What?
Nick Richards is almost doing a double. He's 27.
Yeah, he is 27.
Yeah,
So
like, not no offense though. He don't got no offense though.
No, he don't.
But he can do what we need him to do.
Porty may even have a higher ceiling than Nick Richards, actually. That would be a tough one because I'm bullish on Huck Porty long term, more so than you guys are, like right now.
Yeah, I like him. It's just Nick Richards will be right now though.
But I have a what's the word? Unexplainable something for Nick Richards. I just love this guy. I love Nick Richards. Like I feel like he would give us what Mitch gives us, but he would be healthy for the entire season.
Yeah, I like Nick Richards. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like him. I mean, he's not as good a, he's not Mitch at his ceiling, but Mitch is not at his ceiling a lot of times just because of the injuries, So if there was an opportunity to get Nick Richards, I would take it in a minute. But this is the question then. Who are you giving up to get him? Who would you be willing to give up? Because you got to give to get.
I was about to say, what does he? I'm gonna look up his salary because does him and Mitch salary close?
No, he's only making $5 million this year and $5 million next year.
So that means we will have to take on somebody else if we're going to give up Mitch. If they want Mitch, they have to give up Nick Richards or something else.
Somebody, Rick James in the chat have a solution to get Nick Richards.
All right, go ahead. Let's go. Let's go with the chat.
Well, let's might as well go to Rick James first. Give the Hornets $5 million.
I wish we could.
Somebody said in the chat, thank God we're not GMs. Thank God Rick James is not GM.
In jail.
I know the team would get penalized like left and right, man. Shout out to Rick James. Khalid Pasha said, realistically, I trade Mitch and Sims for Josh Green and Nick Richards off the Hornets. Money works.
See,
like Josh Green is another guard, right?
Yeah, but he a body though.
I thought he was like, that's not the 6'7", 6'8" guard.
He's 6'7", 6'8". If Josh,
I'm gonna look.
Oh yeah, he's 6'5".
Yeah, he's short. Not short, but
That's not short. 6'5" guard. It's good.
No, we need 6'8" to 6'9" wing. I'm tired of the.
Yeah, 6'5" is short, AJ. Just not.
I would say 6'7" to 6'9".
Yeah, we need somebody bigger taller than that.
Then,
but again, I
He'd
don't.
be like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was just gonna say he'll be another like Josh Hart type.
I mean, if you're looking for big guard, here you go. I'll take Ben Simmons.
No, see.
Now I thought about that. And I said, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Shout out to Cardiac Knicks. He's got the solution, guys. We got all the solutions. You know what? Before I continue, we do have a super chat here, Queen.
Okay.
But that will be a secondary ball handler and defender. But nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it though.
And he can rebound too. But mentally, where's he at? I mean,
That is true.
Yeah, and
he wouldn't have to move.
That's true. But he misses a lot of game though with back issues and all kind of.
I think he's been pretty healthy. I think they've just been from management. He's not playing back to back.
Right.
Shout out to Paris
Ooh.
Duggar. Thank you for the $3 super chat. Said Tibbs has become our Mark Jackson before Steve Kerr.
Now I thought about that, but that hurts. That hurts because I want to have faith in Tibbs. I want to have faith in Tibbs. I truly want Tibbs to be the one to succeed for us. But these adjustments in certain games, sometimes you like Tibbs. If I can pinpoint it out, why not? Why are you being stubborn? So that's just my take on that. But it's not a bad one, Duggar.
Thank you for the super chat, Paris Duggar.
Super chat.
Wait,
But-
how y'all feel on that? Y'all just gonna brush past that? Y'all like we?
I disagree.
Okay, cool.
I need a reason. What's the reason other than you gotta give me more than just adjustments to get rid of Tibbs after he started the coaching? Just like I didn't like when they fired Mark Jackson. Like, what's the reasoning behind you just, not you, Delusional, anybody.
Right.
Other than, I just don't like him. I need other reasons than that.
Hit him up. It says Valanciunas is the only move that makes sense, and I think we all on the panel agree that's the move that won't make sense. So we couldn't disagree with you more. Like he don't bring what we need. We need defense. He doesn't bring it.
Yeah. I mean, again, he does allow you to continue playing, 48 minutes of 5 out. He does allow that.
Yeah. But that's not getting us anywhere. All right. Shout out to JJ. Says, I won't call this an excellent offense because we rely on the 3-ball too much. If they're not falling, we're in trouble.
I think it is an excellent offense that the Knicks are not maximizing, in my opinion. Because the Knicks don't have to just rely on 3-point shooting. The Knicks they have the talent to drive. There's space in the key to cut. They can post up. So I think the offense is not being maximized. It's not being optimized. Some of it can be Thibodeau, but I was talking to Jay Boogie today, and because I was like, when we played Atlanta, they was hiding Trae Young on Mikal Bridges, and we didn't take advantage of that. I would have wanted Tibbs to do that. He was like, what about Brunson? Like, how many times have you've played basketball or you've seen a guy play basketball and be like, no, you come over here, you get over here, So it's true. It's the coach is part of it as well. Don't get me wrong, but you know how to play basketball. You know what the mismatches are. Take advantage of the mismatches. The Knicks sometimes they force things on offense when you don't need to. They taking away the 3, you got the key. They taking away the key, you got the 3.
Or the mid range.
Or the mid range. We don't take advantage, in my opinion, of all of the space that's in that key. Other than OG Anunoby, and sometimes Bridges will go backdoor. I don't think we take advantage of the amount of space that's in the key as much as we can. And I would like to see Karl Anthony Towns on the post a little bit, particularly against smaller guards. See if we can get some double teams, because we have to start creating advantages. Brunson is the only one that can create an advantage for us. I think Bridges can too, but we're not using him that way, which is another issue in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Get Cannon, see if he can command a double team. Now somebody is open. You find I just felt like the Knicks offense number 2 right now, and it's not even scratching the surface of what this offense can do. And when you start playing the good teams, they're gonna force you to go to your 3rd and 4th options on, in your offense. And the Knicks got to be able to recognize that and execute that. And I don't think we're there yet. I just don't think we're there.
I think a lot of that is on Brunson.
I don't disagree.
I think most of it is on Brunson. I think once he gets more comfortable with how everybody plays and sees the floor better, I think he'll be fine, but I think that's definitely on him.
I was thinking differently. I was thinking that's possibly on Tibbs.
Yeah, but if you're the player on the floor, you're the captain and you have the ball in your hand, I shouldn't need Tibbs to see that mismatch. Like I don't. It shouldn't matter who the coach is. If I'm the point guard and I see Mikal Bridges on Trae Young and he got him in the post, it's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like Tibbs shouldn't say it, but if I'm the point guard, I should see that. I should notice that.
Right.
Well, no, what Jerrell? No, because sometimes they're not even in position to create the mismatch. You know what I'm saying? So like when there are a couple of things that always work for us, right? The pick and roll, the pick and pop. If none of those, you got to switch it up a little bit. Sometimes you got to have Cat in the post. We don't do that enough.
I'm saying as the point guard, that's his job to do that, though. That's his job to put them in position, no?
What does he do? Like tell Cat get in the post? Like
yes.
No, but see that
my point guard did it to me in high school. Why he can't say that?
You worked to me. You worked out on the side because when you call it out now, everybody knows ahead of time what you're doing, so they prepare for it. Yeah. Okay, but if you call it out on the bench,
listen, there's no secrets in the NBA. Everybody is scouted. Everybody knows what you're going to do. You got to be able to execute out in the open. Everybody knows what you're doing. There's no element of surprise.
No. Let's say there are 5 different plays that works for us. This time out, they don't know what you're going to do. But if you giving everybody the heads up, they set up for you. But coming out of your timeout, nobody knows what you're going to do. If they already know what you're going to do, they prepared, they set up the defense. What you're going to do? Like there's no secret, but every team got like 5, 7, 8 plays they go to. Their go-to plays, right?
I mean, AJ. I just feel like teams are heavily scouted. Even if you run a play one time, the next time, I just don't think there's an element of surprise.
They know your favorite. They know what you prefer to do, but they don't know every time what you're gonna do. And that little bit of that element of surprise, that split second of them guessing what you're gonna do, that's your advantage.
Okay.
Well, let's just say this: in order for us, if we're going to be championship contenders, our point guard needs to see that, or we're not going to be the champions. Because that's the only way a versatile offense will flow if the point guard sees that. Unless Cat is, because Cat don't seem like he's the type of person to yell for the ball. Like Brunson's the point guard. We call him a good point guard. He should be able to see the mismatches, regardless of who has the mismatch. Can't just be him on the side just doing his thing, and he has to see it all. Like he has to be the coach on the floor. That's his job.
I agree. If there's the mismatch.
Oh yeah,
but the other players got to move around to create that mismatch.
Right, but here we're talking about Trae Young is guarding, just like we try to hide Brunson. They're trying to hide Trae Young. They hit him on Bridges. We need to exploit that.
100%.
And both Thibodeau. First of all, that should have been a part of the game plan.
Yeah, right. To be honest, yes.
That should have been a part of the game plan. But if it's not, if you're a point guard and you see it, you go to it.
Just to notice it.
Right.
Like you have to at least notice it. Even if you don't go to it often, you have to at least notice it. If you don't notice it, then there's a problem. Then that means we won't take advantage of any mismatches. And mismatches that's all what the playoffs is about. We're going to play somebody in a 7-game series. They're going to know everything that we're going to do.
Yep.
So we'll see. Like this, really, all of this is practice for the playoffs for me, anyway. Like don't get me wrong, we care about the regular season, but this is a playoff team. So when we're playing Boston or the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 7-game series, I want my point guard to see the mismatch. It's his job. That's he's a good player. Like he should be able to do that.
Yeah. Anything else, Adrian?
Yeah, I got a 2-piece here from Khalid. This team has a size problem. We way too small, 1 through 8. And part 2 is also we got a defense and rebound problems. We know that. You either got it or you don't. Let me see. We're gonna wait till we die for Cat to become the rim protector and Bridges to become the point of attack defender. We've seen enough.
I will say this about the rebounding. The Knicks are not as bad a rebounding team as everyone is making them out to be. They're not as good a rebounding team as last year. But I'll say this, stop looking at total rebounds and start looking at rebounding percentage. It's just a better indicator of your team's rebounding, right? So many things can impact total rebounds, shooting percentage, how many, missed shots, how many rebounds are available, how many possessions in a game. It's really hard to compare total rebounds across teams. Look at defensive rebounding percentage, because that measures out of the amount of rebounds that was available, how much did your team get? What percentage of the available rebounds did your team haul in? And the Knicks are 13th in total rebounding percentage, and they're 12th in defensive rebounding percentage. Last year, our offensive rebounding really pulled up our total rebounding average because we were a good offensive rebounding team. This year, we're not a good offensive rebounding. It's pulling down our total rebounding average. So to me, I prioritize, particularly on this team, defensive rebounding. Last year, offensive rebounding was important for us because that was a big part of the formula for how we scored, right? It's not really part of the formula for how we score this year, and I'm fine with that. We're a very efficient team. If we can get offensive rebounds, that's great. I don't think we're as dependent on it this season. But defensive rebounding percentage, the Knicks are above average, in rebounding percentage. I think they haul in like 71.2% of available rebounds. I think the top team holds in 75% of the available rebounds, right? So it's not as big an issue as we're making it out to be.
Can I say something on that? I think the issue that we have with that and the rebound is because those major losses that we thought we should have won is where we got out rebound. So it's stinging with us. It stays with us. So that, like I said, that Atlanta game, that Utah game, key moments where we needed to score and slow that momentum for the other team is where we was like, oh my God, another rebound, another this and this and that. So, but to your point, 100%. Overall, we still a solid team rebounding. It's just those major losses that we took.
Those tall teams will give us make it difficult for us. But part of it, let's call a spade a spade. OG is not a good rebounder, and people want to say, "Oh, it's because he's playing out of position. He's a 3, and we have him playing a 4." All right, maybe okay. Josh Hart playing 2 and 3, and getting. He's not a really good rebounder. Mikal Bridges is not a good rebounder. Not even long rebounds. Not even long rebounds. He's just not a good rebounder. That's putting a lot of pressure on Cat and Hart. Campaign one time, K had 6 rebounds. So I'm not saying that we can't get better, but I don't want to just get tall people just to get tall people, because you can be tall for nothing. You want to get tall people that have an impact, that they can rebound, they can get in there, they can get grimy, they can get dirty, not just this. Oh, they tall. How they 6'8"? Come on. And they working at McDonald's. No, we need somebody that really know how to play. That's tall.
Yeah. Building blocks. Shout out Building Blocks says OG needs to fall back to small forward. We know that. What do we do with Josh Hart at that point?
Bench. Throw Precious at that 4.
Queen don't want to hear that thing.
To me, I don't even think it's about who start. Does Precious get enough minutes? What are the lineups? What are the possessions of particular lineups? Because when you say bench, let's be clear about this. A lot of time when you talk about somebody starting, Precious is not going to get starters minutes. You could start him if you want. Josh Hart is still going to play more minutes than Precious. So a lot of times when you think about starting, you think about this guy starting. He's going to be getting like 30-something minutes. It's not going to happen.
That's true.
I do
Josh
think
is still going to get enough, and he's still going to close games.
I do think Precious should at least get 30 minutes with the amount of, bench guys coming off and OG needing some minutes decline. I do think, but like you said, it's a possibility that they're slowly bringing him along
I think they
due
are.
to
I
the
think
injury.
he will get more minutes. I don't think he's a 12 to 16 or whatever he's been getting on this roster. I don't think so.
JJ again says, I wouldn't want to move Deuce or Precious. Anyone else off the bench can go, including Mitch.
Listen, we talk about the Knicks being short. This is how you move Deuce, you get taller. You get a two guard with some height, you're gonna get taller. Right now, we're rolling out two undersized guards, and I get McBride's wingspan. See, everybody wants to talk about how we need to get taller, but nobody wants to give up anybody but a broken down Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? So you got to give to get. This is real conversation. You want to get a 6'8", 6'9" forward. Oh, but we don't want to give up Precious. We don't want to give up McBride. We don't want to. Then you don't want them because you're going to have to pay.
Right.
And and I'm not saying McBride is not a good player. He's a very good player, and he's come a very long way. Don't get me wrong. But he's an undersized two guard. He's not a point guard, so he's not. It's not like you're going to trade campaign or even put Kolek. You're not playing McBride at the point guard. He is a two. So if you want to get bigger, that's the spot. That's one spot to get bigger at, or to give up so that you can get bigger at another spot. Unless a team wants Mitchell Robinson.
Nick Richards would Deuce. Would you do it?
I would do it. Because I'm not saying Shaman is Deuce. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Shaman is Deuce. But I'm saying he can shoot it. And his defense would be a little less than Deuce. Don't get me wrong. But you're gonna gain in other areas. So yeah, I would do it.
Knicks fans will riot.
I know.
But I'm not saying I disagree with you though. Like, there's really something to think about. But Knicks
You want to win this chip, you got to sell out.
Right.
Tibbs would ride right along with Knicks fans. He'd be right there. And
You got to sell out. And it's not player for player. It's what it does for the team.
Right, exactly.
It's not that Nick Richards is not as good as Dude. It's not about that. It's how much better is the team with that trade. That's what it's about.
Yep. Next up, Parrish Duggar says Mitch, Deuce, Precious, Kolek, Pac-Man, Sims, and Huck Bordy are all on the table for the final piece. Parrish Duggar, care to tell us who that final piece is in your mind? Share that with us to see who you trade all those guys for, and then how you fill up the rest of the bench, if you don't mind.
No, I'm thinking me like a
I
combination.
don't think he's giving up all of them. He's just saying any one of them would be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring up some Westchester players after that trade.
Mm-hmm. Depending on who the player is, I do. Who we trading for?
East Blue Drew said he already had a seizure for IQ, but you've recovered, right?
Yeah, see,
Okay.
told you. Like, giving up Deuce, that's that's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. For some Nick Richards. It's just the name
for rebounding.
Right, it's the name stuff. It's the name. Like Nick Richards, we give it up, Deuce for Nick. I can hear it already.
I think it's that Knick fans love grown talent.
Right, exactly.
Which is fine.
So does every other fan base. We just a little extra with it, though. You know how we do.
I mean, listen, I still check out a Raptors game when the Knicks aren't playing. See how my boys are doing up there.
Yeah, I watch them too. Yeah, I mean,
Are you married who?
Yeah, I know.
I watch him, but it's all good.
Yeah. Let me see. Rick James mentioned that Drummond is another turnstile when we're talking about him on defense. Last but not least, John Bryce says, "So That's a very good question. Who gets benched when Mitch and Shamet gets back? Tibbs only play 8 guys."
I think he plays 9 at that point.
Yeah, I think he'll extend it. It's not like they're all going to play crazy minutes, 8 minutes here, 9 minutes there, just to give the bench a little rest.
Well, wait. If Shamet comes back and Mitch, if he plays 9, who's not playing?
Somebody not playing.
So you got Deuce, Precious, Campaign, Mitch, and Shamet.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody not playing.
Somebody not playing.
Yeah, somebody not playing.
So, Knicks fans,
Maybe
go
it's
ride my
Shamet.
bet. I would guess it would be Shamet, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 5.
Like Shamet is probably coming back first. So maybe he plays that 3-guard lineup until Mitch gets back.
Do you guys think what's his name? TJ Warren. TJ Warren's playing in our G League. Do you think they don't bring him back because for what we talking about? Like he doesn't bring it on defense. He's a great, he could score, but on defense he doesn't bring much.
I think it's a money issue.
You think it's a money issue?
Yeah, it's a money issue. He's a 10-year vet, so he makes his minimum.
It's like over $1 million, right?
Yeah, and the Knicks, if they bring him in, the Knicks go over. They can't go over the second apron at any point. So they'll probably bring him. Maybe they bring him later, but if they bring Shamet in, I don't think they would be able to bring him later unless they get rid of another contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Because to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, this has been pissing me off all season. I do not know for the life of me why TJ Warren isn't on this roster right now.
I think
But we
over.
But we got the dude. What was the last dude that we picked up?
Moses, the center.
No.
Ryan.
No.
Matt Ryan.
Why? Yeah. Why is Matt Ryan? Why does he have a New York Knicks jersey? I don't get it.
Isn't he on the 2-way right now? So they just bringing him up and down.
They converted. I think he was unguaranteed unless they changed it recently.
I don't know, but I saw him on the floor getting minutes. And as long as TJ Warren has a G League jersey, I do not see why Matt Ryan got minutes for us. I don't like it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I did not think about the money issue, whether it's a money issue. But TJ Warren should be on an NBA roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salute, Trav. Appreciate you.
Trav in the house.
I think he's on a non-guaranteed contract, and they have until sometime in January to guarantee it. And I think they were hoping that Shamet would be back by then.
I don't know, if I'm TJ Warren, I almost feel like it's disrespectful at this point.
Well, that they probably have a plan for him. We say to him, maybe that's what he knows what they're doing.
Yeah, he has to. That's the only reason I can see him staying. I don't see why he's in the G League.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get it.
But when you're in this G League, another team can pick you up too.
Correct.
So nobody else is picking them up.
Okay.
Yeah, and shout out to the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button. Right now, we only have 41 likes out of some 100 and where is it? Or 97 people watching. So come on, let's get them likes up.
All right. Before we get into that, I want to talk about the Knicks in Minnesota. But before we get to that, the Knicks are 16-10. The fan base is split on whether that record is indicative of who this team really is. The Knicks, some may think it's fake in the sense that this is not a team that is 6 games over 500. So I guess my question is, are the Knicks, and there's some that feel like there was a few games we could have won. We could have been even, we could have been, I don't know, 19 and 7. Are the Knicks better or worse than their record, in your opinion, Delusional, than Jerrell, than AJ?
I think we're better than our record, to be honest with you. like you said, we still tapped into certain offensive schemes, certain defensive schemes that we haven't utilized yet. Like you said, we would love to see Cat post up more. Like you said, draw double teams. When we've seen that, he's drawing double teams, wide open three, or we're getting a cut, someone baseline dunking. We've seen that. So we like, okay, you back-to-back games are putting up over 135 points. So we see that we can honestly lock up teams 90 points per game. We can do that. It's just certain nights, just certain feel is just not there. So yeah, I think we're totally better than what the record said. I remember when we did the early year, the first 10, 20 games, we were like, yeah, the schedule looking kind of crazy. I don't know. But then now we're in it and we're like, oh man, wait, all those games went down that quick, and we're 16-10 when it could easily, like you said, would have been 19-7. I'm like, all right, I feel okay with where we at. I definitely think the team is better than what the records say. And it's just taking more time to adjust. We have months of where Mikel's shot was looking crazy, and we were saying all those draft picks wasn't worth it. Now the month of December, he's showing what he can really do. So I think we're definitely bounced back. And I definitely do think our team is better than what the record show.
Yeah. I think against 500 teams, I think we're 6-6, if I'm not.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We never lost against a 500 team last year.
Yeah. Whoever I said was next.
Jerrell is next.
Ain't that many people up here, Steph. But yeah, I agree a lot with Delusional. I think we're definitely better than what we are. It was a couple of games I think we slipped by. I think we're going to be a better team going forward. This team definitely hasn't hit a ceiling yet. I think the offense is fine, other than noticing the stuff that we talked about before. But I think the defense is going to get better. I think it has no choice. I don't think it's going to get any worse. I think more players are going to get more comfortable. Like Mikal Bridges is even going to get more comfortable. I think he's going to play better in the second half of the season. Hopefully, OG has been in a little slump offensively.
He reverted back.
That is true. I didn't want to say that yet, Steph. I'm saying I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? So, but none of these players we haven't been on all cylinders yet. So yeah, I have to say that we're better than we are. Until I see what we're actually capable of, I would definitely, think we're better than what our record is. Let's just say that. I think we'll be better in the second half of the season.
Ajay?
I think we're exactly what our record says we are. Okay. We're a team. Listen, we haven't had an extremely tough schedule, but we haven't had a lot of back-to-backs. In fact, Queen, I think the games are too spread out, man. I want to watch the Knicks game. I gotta wait 4 days before I see the Knicks play, man.
Meaning tougher schedule-wise or team-wise? You're saying schedule-wise?
Both. We haven't played any tough team. Not any. I don't want to say any, but we haven't had stretches. I feel like last season we had stretches where we played a dozen games with real tough teams. And 3 back-to-backs in those 12 games. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head. But last season I thought was crazy for us. And we've lost some games we had no business losing, and we've won games we had no business winning. Right? That's all that indication of a team who's getting it together. A brand new team. You got to remember, this is a new team. That players are learning to play with each other. The coach is learning what to do with the players, and other teams are figuring out. Now, having said that, the record it's a good record to be where we are right now. And Jerrell is saying we're going to play better as the season comes, which is fine, and I agree with that. But so are the teams we're competing against. They're also going to get to play better as the season comes along. So I don't know how is that going to pan out. I don't know how that's going to show. That doesn't mean the rest of the season is going to be tougher. It doesn't mean it's going to be better. But it is going to, if we continue on this path, obviously we're going to have a superb record at the end of the season. But you can never tell, because you got to remember, we're have tunnel vision, right? We have tunnel vision. We only looking at the Knicks. We're not looking at the other teams, right? The other teams are getting better. The other teams are starting to fill each other out. The other teams are developing. The other teams are also. So competition is getting harder.
Right.
All right. And they're getting healthier. So we just have to play it out and see what happens. But I do think we're exactly, where we are is what, our record indicates exactly where we are. 16, we playing some crappy teams, so we're 16, and it's that's just what it is. So we got to take it like those guys say. It sounds like cliche, but game by game by game by game. You know what I'm saying? So, and watch out for those trap games. You want to build a record, a good record.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think the Knicks need some work. And I like that we have the 6-game cushion, because I think when we play some of the tougher teams, we're going to really get a chance to see where we are, not just offensively, not just defensively, but mentally as well, in terms of just how flat we've come out some games as well. Yeah. We'll see. I think we're a work in progress. I think we will get better. And I like the fact that we're winning, not playing well, because it can be the other way around too, where our mistakes and our deficiencies are costing us games. And we're sitting here right now 12-10 or 10-12. Right? Like 10 wins and 12 losses. So, yeah, I get it. I think what the fan base is saying is that I could see through that 16-10. I could see that, you got some easy wins. I could see that you're not really where you're going to be or where I would like you to be. So I think that's what the fan base is saying. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying win. Just win and learn, because the coaching staff, coaches know what their team needs to get better at. Like coaches know, like even though we're 16-10, if we don't show up A, B, and C, it's going to be a problem down the line. They know that already. You're just trying to win anyway. You're just trying to win while you're learning, win while you're working on those things. So the Knicks have some things to clean up, and I think they will. Just can we get to the chat quickly on this before we move to Minnesota?
Oh, definitely. Shout out to Rick James again. Rick James, third easiest schedule so far. Back-to-backs hitting one of the most hardest schedules in the second half. All right, so it's going to be a good test for us.
Yeah, and we got a little test.
Yeah, that's it. We got to do. Jam Session says, I've been saying this for months. We will be 21-11 by January 1st. We are better than our record still. Shout out to Jam Session for that one.
Let's do it. Donald
DiMichele says, what's up, crew? I think Knicks run into a buzz saw tomorrow night. Julius and Devo are going to come hard. I don't know.
Pause.
Whatever.
We're going to talk about that.
No, listen.
We're going to talk about that, Donald DiMichele.
Well, you know what? But guess what? Cat also, I'm sure somewhere out there in Minnesota, somebody's saying, the Minnesota's going to run to a buzzsaw. Cat going to have 45, 50 points. It's the same thing the other way around. I don't think, I'm not saying no, but I'm saying the counter argument to that is they saying the same thing about Cat.
I got you.
We got a segment about that, right, Queen?
Yep, we're going to talk about that right after this.
Cool.
All right. 2-piece from Donald DiMichele says Knicks a paper tiger with weak D. Well, we don't disagree with that. We talk about the poor defense of the Knicks. Rick James, third easiest schedule so far. We said that already. JJ, I have to see more. That's when we were talking about how we feel about the Knicks so far. So we've beaten a bunch of teams missing star players and beat some trash teams. But JJ, we've also beaten some good teams. Like you got to say that, because we've also, we've also
We beat
performed.
Denver, and I'm not sure. That's the only one I can remember. Yeah, I know
Didn't we beat the Bucks? Didn't we play Milwaukee?
we did.
And like comfortably too.
They weren't playing well at the time. They're playing a lot better now.
Jerrell, I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
The record says we recorded a dub.
My bad. You right. They count.
So that was a dub. Rick James says Miami, Bucks, and Atlanta are cooking right now.
And the Knicks are 7 over their last 10. We're cooking too.
We're cooking too. We're third in the East. Where are they at?
Where's Miami's strength of schedule? What's the Bucks' strength of schedule? What's Atlanta's strength of schedule over these, past, 10 games?
Yeah.
In the last 15 games, we have the second best record in the league.
Yep.
So
we're cooking.
Yeah, we're cooking. Might be against bad teams, but so what?
we still, a win is a win. Like, we still cooking. And that's it, Queen. Shout out to Mega. Show support and appreciation to DopeSoulSports Talking Knicks Talk. Hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. And shout out to you, Mega. Always rocking with us, man. Salute to you, bro.
Appreciate you, Mega.
Yeah.
The Knicks play Minnesota tomorrow. What's your thoughts? Cat's going home. His first time back in Minnesota for a regular season game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of emotion. For him, he played 9 seasons there. The trade was a surprise for him. Tom Thibodeau already was preaching. It's not about Towns versus, Dante and Randall. It's Knicks versus Minnesota, yada, yada, yada. He's still going to be pumped for that game. And I'm pretty sure Randall and DiVincenzo are going to want to show, we doing good over here too. Thoughts on that game? Jerrell, will start with you.
I think one or two things are going to happen especially with Cat. I think he's either going to have a very bad game or a very good one because of the nerves and stuff. I think he really did not want to leave Minnesota. So when it comes to that, it's either going to go one way or the other. I don't think he's going to have an average game. He's either going to score 50 or he's not going to be able to hit the side of a barn with his jumper. Like, I can see either way. Either way going, it all depends on him and his emotions. But as a team, I think we can go in there and get a win from Minnesota. We had a nice rest. I'm not overly impressive with their team. They have a lot of chemistry issues as well. Dealing with Julius Randle is going to be a problem. I think he's going to have a little axe to grind. I'm not really worried about Dante DiVincenzo, but OG versus Julius Randle is what I'm really looking forward to. That's going to be hopefully it'll be a very, very good matchup. That go in our favor, but yeah, Julius Randle is going to try to kill us tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with what Jerrell just said, except that I would also worry about DiVincenzo because we've had problems guarding the 3-point line, and if you don't guard him, he could go off. Like if he start going off from beyond that 3-point line, we not checking him, he could quickly rack up the points on us. So I would worry about him too.
He's only shooting 32% from behind the 3-point line this season, but I think all of that goes out the window tomorrow playing the Knicks.
Yep, everybody's gonna be sharp. So yeah, I would worry about him too. And Julius Randle, we know Randle's a problem. He's gonna be a problem for us. So whatever, we just have to deal with him. And I don't know, if you're Tibbs, do you put a lot of pressure? Do you put Precious a lot of minutes on him?
On Precious and OG.
And OG. That's what I'm saying. Do you split? Like, do you kind of go half and half, or still have OG play most of the minutes? Actually, you know what? I think OG is going to do a good job for one simple reason. Randall is a bit clumsy with the ball, and OG's like he steals a lot. So he might create a lot of turnovers on that one.
Yeah. I mean, in the post, Randall, he doesn't have a lot of moves in the post. He's just going to bully you. He's just going to, play through you. I feel comfortable with OG on the perimeter versus Randall. And I actually feel comfortable with him in the post, quite frankly. So I'm comfortable with him. Listen, is he going to shut him down and he scores 6 points? No, it's not going to happen. Maybe he can be more. Maybe he can, create an inefficient night for him. But he's definitely more efficient this year. I think he's shooting 48%, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel good about the matchup with Randall and OG. What about you guys?
That's gonna be a tough matchup, man. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I don't know if Randall's motivated. I can see him getting the best of OG, but I don't want to speak that into existence. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think just because we trade him, we don't act like Randall ain't no walking bucket when he want to be. Like, but yeah, I just hope he don't get off. That's all, because we still got to deal with Ant.
Shit. That's that we over here worried about DiVincenzo and Randall, and nobody say nothing about it. That's the real problem. Who gonna check him? That's the problem.
It's gonna have to be multiple players.
Who do you think is the first? Who do you think guards him first? I think it's gonna be hard.
Bridges.
Bridges is so light in the ass, though.
He's gonna have the ball though, so I think it's gonna be Bridges.
Yeah, it's gonna be Bridges. Yeah, to kind of
giving up already, Steph.
No,
that's too many ums. I don't like that.
That dude. I mean, that cat. Ant is
he is.
Yeah, to kind of get my perspective on this matchup, we already saw how that preseason went at the Garden. There was emotions tied to it. It was a tight game. They even said it, it felt like a playoff game in the preseason to get it started. And Randall didn't even play. We got the DiVincenzo and the Pops issue on the side going on. So it was a lot of emotions in that preseason game alone. So for this game, I think is going to be heightened, even due to the interview that that Randall gave earlier when they asked him, would you have any feelings? He's like, nah, it's just another game. I'm like, come on, we know you, Julius. We was here with you for 5 years, and we know how emotional, player you are. So he definitely has this game on his calendar, and kind of wants to prove, everybody kind of wrong. So I truly believe that, he's going to take it to OG. My thing is what you said, 100%. OG likes to swipe a lot, so you can definitely see him possibly getting into foul trouble dealing with Julius in that paint with the banging back and forth. So you definitely got to throw, different bodies at Jules for the most part. But then, like you said, then you still got to contain Edwards. Edwards went off for 31 in the preseason with 36 minutes. So just got to be mindful with that. So it's going to be a really good game. It's how we game plan. What is Tibbs' game plan going into it? Are we going to, drop coverage on that pick and roll with Brunson? I mean, with Jules and Edwards. How you dealing with that? Are we going to switch? How you play that? Cat and, who's Cat's going to have to deal with defensive player of the year? Are we going to drag him out the paint and shoot more threes with that? Or he going to bang in the post? So it's ultimately how you play that. It's ultimately how he wants to play that.
Listen, man,
you got to play Gobert off the floor.
I want to see
Put him
Cat.
at the bar, bring Cat out.
So I want to see Cat take 12 to 15 threes tomorrow.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And at the clip he's shooting, I want to see him take 12, at least a dozen of them. Make sure Gobert's not in there.
Yeah, but I would also drive on him as well. I mean, do you want Cat just out there hitting threes? I mean, drive the basket.
Well, this is the thing, though. I don't mean to cut you off, but Minnesota plays a lot of drop coverage as well. So, that's going to be tough how they defend that. If you run a pick and roll, you're going to just allow Brunson to get to his spots in the middle and hit that floater. So then now you're going to have to, kind of get up on that. Then now that leaves Cat open. So, yeah, it can. How do they play?
Right. I get it. Just
Queen,
read the defense.
I think we're probably gonna have to have a show like on like offense, like how they run it, because Cat, I don't like Cat driving too many times during the game. I don't want to see that more than 3 times throughout the whole game.
I don't want to see him just
though.
out there hitting threes either. Popping
If
threes all
hitting, like if he's hitting them, I want to keep shooting him. That or be in the post. But with against Gobert, you don't want him in the post. I mean, you can. He could probably, because Gobert, he's tall, but he's a little bit, he's not strong. Like you could.
He's strong. Man.
Nah, he's not. He's kind of soft. He's kind of soft actually. Rudy Gobert is a soft player.
Really?
Yes. Watch him. He's not tough. He's not a rough and rugged guy. You could bully him down there. Yeah. Oh my God. Are you guys watching those games? Are you guys watching Minnesota? Watch. I follow my guys. When guys go, I watch the Raptors. I watch the Timberwolves to see how my guys are doing. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, look at this big guy in the middle. I mean, they do whatever they want with him.
Okay.
He's not a tough guy. But, anyway, Randall's going to be a problem. I don't know how we're going to solve that problem tomorrow. And Anthony Edwards is going to be a problem. I don't know how we're going to solve that problem tomorrow.
Yeah. And they're number 4. They're 4th in defensive rating. So their defense is rounding into shape. Took a little hit early in the season. It's definitely rounding into shape now. 19th in offensive rating on the season. They're playing better as of late, though, so it might even be better. On the season, the entire season, the Knicks have better rebounding numbers than they do. Believe it or not. Whether you're looking at total rebounds or whether you're looking at rebounding percentage, they're close, though. They're close.
Now, you think they're going to put Jaden Daniels on Brunson?
Probably.
Oh, my God. That's a problem. He's a tall kid.
No, it's not a problem if you scheme for it.
Yeah, we're going to have to hit him on those pick and rolls early. Have Josh bring the ball up, possibly. Run, some action off of that. Mm-hmm. Instead of him just bringing the ball up and getting trapped.
Correct.
So, but if we see the adjustments early, Queen, how we just speaking it out. This what usually happens, but then we don't see that translate into that game scheme. Like, why is that? That's when I question Tibbs sometimes. It's like we just sitting on the couch and easily like, okay, look, this is how we can kind of get the offense flowing, get things going. But then when we see the game happen, Brunson's still bringing the ball up, still getting trapped, 94 feet. Like, why is nobody else taking that pressure off of Brunson? Like, what is the reasoning behind that? To be honest, like we don't have an answer, but why is that? We can figure this out early. Why there's no adjustment during that time period?
The only thing I will say is there may be some other things we're not aware of. Whereas if he does this, then that may create a problem of somewhere else that we're not aware of. So it seems obvious to me. Brunson is really good off the ball as well.
Right.
I would love to see Mikal Bridges use some of the skills that he has in terms of being a secondary playmaker and have Brunson running off screens. But the only thing is either Tibbs don't see it, he don't want to do it, or he feels there's a trade-off somewhere that he's not willing to do.
Yeah, right. It could possibly be a trade-off. Yeah. But I'm like, these are pros. They should be able to run action from different spots. So let's say if Brunson get jammed up, Mikal should be able to run that Brunson action. The plays should be interchangeable, all being ran from opposite sides of the floor as well. But that's just my kind of thought process behind it. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. There, McDaniels, Gobert, pretty long. The Knicks have had some issues with long teams. The Knicks have had trouble with really good defensive teams that get up into you and kind of disrupt your your offense. So the Knicks definitely have to match their physicality. I don't know if they're going to be as physical as Orlando. So the Knicks have some experience having played Orlando twice. Any concerns about their defense and how the Knicks have, I don't know, struggle might be a strong word. Seems to not play that well against really physical, good defensive teams, except Orlando. I thought they matched their physicality.
You guys mind if I chime in first?
No, go ahead.
I don't think we'll have trouble defensively with Minnesota as much because they're kind of ISO friendly team. Edwards for the most part, he likes to ISO, even though he do operate out of the pick and roll. And then with Julius is the same way in a sense, very kind of ISO friendly. So we can chime in on that. When Minnesota is moving the ball, when they have Mike Conley kind of running the offense, and then when they have in what's that other forward that they have, big man,
Nas Reed?
Yes, Reed. When Reed is on the floor, they space out a lot more. They move the ball. That's when we usually kind of get killed a lot. So it's how Minnesota plays. If Julius is going to play about 40-something minutes, I feel comfortable because it's going to be very ISO friendly, very emotional. He's going to want to get his numbers. So I think we can lock that down.
What about us, though? Our offense against their defense? Because that's what I'm,
So yeah, like you said, it's really how we adjust to them putting Daniels on Brunson. If they go with that and they picking up full feet and putting that pressure in their body, because that gets to Brunson. That gets to him to be like, all right, I know I got a team, but I got to prove to these guys that I can dominate these type of players, which happened in Atlanta. He wanted to get his off. He's like, no, okay, they locking me up. I need to showcase. But if they get in Brunson's head like that, then of course we're done. But I think he kind of learned from that game. So I think our offense will pretty much, I don't want to say decimate Minnesota because, like I said, they're still a top 10 defensive team right now, right? Four. Ugh.
The Knicks got to use, again, it goes back to recognition. What are they taking? You can't take away everything on this.
Right.
What are they taking away?
Yeah.
And being able to, it's not even for a game plan. Like, this is what they like to take away. This is what we're going to do. No, possession to possession. This is what they're taking away. What can we get on this possession?
Look, we got all these games off. So Tibbs, that's why I said this game is on Tibbs because you got practice, you got time to game plan and have every scenario there. So I think we should be well prepared. And that first quarter will determine everything. We need to come out scoring on all cylinders. None of those 15-point first quarter games. So, but I think we'll be good.
All right. Anybody else want to comment?
Oh, yeah, the early prediction. Delusional, you think we're gonna win?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I think it's going to be a close game. I truly think it's a close game. Like, what is our our home and away record right now? So it's a little shaky per se. Hold on, I had it up here. Yeah, nope, I actually don't have it now. But I know we're 5-2 in December, so I think we're gelling. I think we hold it down.
This is what I've been trying to say when I be like identifying the mismatch. Who is Mike Conley guarding? Whoever has Mike Conley on offense, just kill him so we could just run, our offense. Like
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart gonna have to be give the ball to Josh Hart and we could play off him because he's capable of.
I am delusional.
Just get the ball to Josh Hart. We could run the offense through him or run the offense through Cat. We don't have to run the offense through Brunson. That's how versatile our offense can be. Brunson can play off ball easily.
Easy.
Like I'm not saying I'm not worried about their offense, but I think our problem is our defense, not the offense. I think we should be able to decipher their defense. Like I don't think I think their defense is good, but I don't think they're the best defense in the league, and we can't, we couldn't score against them.
No, I don't think that's, I don't think that's the case. I also wanted to mention, and somebody said it in the chat, in the preseason, Ant had some time on Jalen Brunson as well. So we may see that also. I just think, though, that's a lot of energy to be expending. So I don't really see him doing that for most of the game.
But I take that. Ain't like Ant over there locking people up every night.
His
Brunson,
defense is better, though. His on-ball defense is not is good.
better defense get cooked all the time. We go get fricassee just like anybody else that guard Brunson. That's not an elite defender. I think if Brunson is hitting and got it on. So
yeah, they are more of a one-on-one team. The ball is in Ant's hand. I mean, the ball is in Brunson's hand a lot as well. But I think the Knicks are doing a much better job this year moving the ball and assisting on a good proportion of their field goals compared to last year, I should say. Who covers 6'10" Naj? Yeah, they're playing Naj, Reed, and Randall in that second unit at the 5 and the 4.
I guess that's their version of 5 out, right?
Yeah. And Naj Reed hasn't been playing great this season.
it's gonna be somebody like Precious.
Yeah.
It would have to be.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Anything else on that?
Yeah, a couple of things from the chat real quick before we switch over. All right. Shout out to Queen. The panel, what's the situation with Shaman and Robinson? We talked about that, Anthony Grant, but Queen, I don't know if you want to Shaman.
Let's be like, look. You should have been here early in the show. We talked about that.
or hit the be part of the replay gang. Nah, shout out Anthony Grant, man. Shout out.
Salute.
So Shamit played in the G League in Westchester the last game they had. I'm not sure when they're going to call him up or if they're going to call. I think they will call him up. I'm just not sure when. And Robinson, the last I heard was Sham saying January or February. Ajay, we've been saying January for so long that you forget that January is actually 2
Yeah,
Around the corner.
that's true.
Mitch did put up that video of him working out though, so even though he does that all the time, but this one looking promising.
Mitch might be back
a lot more cardio, a lot more.
Yeah, I still think the Knicks are taking a chance with Robinson.
Queen, you can't forget about the Cavs series. You can't forget about the Sixers series.
I'm not saying what he can do when he's healthy. That's not what I'm saying. Taking a chance, depending on him to be healthy for the rest of the season. That's what I mean. You're taking a chance.
Yeah, if Mitch was healthy, then a lot of our problems would be solved.
Right.
It's just banking on that, like you said.
It's just banking on that. We're rolling the dice, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm a gambling man, so I'll take that.
Shout out to JM3000. We winning tomorrow. I like how that sounds, so I started. We winning tomorrow.
Shoot, what's good with a live show tomorrow then? Let me stop.
Rick James says Ant is gonna cook Mikal Bridges. Well,
we can't allow that. Like, throw multiple bodies on him each quarter. Do not let Mikal play him for all 48. Like, of course you're gonna get cut.
Right.
Yeah, I got a 2-piece.
Hey, you're not stopping him. You just hoping that maybe he has an inefficient game. You're not stopping him.
You slow him down. Shout out to Trav B. Ryan. Got a 2-piece from him. Said Timberwolves don't pass the ball at all either. And they have trouble scoring a lot. All right. Wolves better watch out because we might blow them out. I like how that sounds.
Pushing for that.
I'm with you. The Knicks are playing physical. Nostalgic Nick says. Not if the refs have something to say about that. Don't get me started on that.
Who's reffing tomorrow?
Listen, man. If Tony Brothers is reffing, we losing that game.
Okay.
All right. They have a really good defense, says Rick James, but we also have a really good offense. So let's see. We shall see who wins.
Well, if we play 5 out and you could draw the big out, hopefully that opens up the paint for us and we could get those easy buckets. So we'll see.
I think the key to them is their on ball defense. Like they mess up the offense. It's like from the beginning of the flow. You know, that's the problem. You know. What else?
I mean, we relied too heavily on Brunson to ignite the offense. So
yeah,
let's see.
He's the only one we have that can create offense. I mean, I think Mikal Bridges can, but we're just not using him that way. So in that sense, it's just Brunson, really.
Yeah.
Donald DiMichele says a lot of love to Delusional Knicks fans, and Delusional Knicks fan truly is delusional.
That is a fact. That is a fact. That's how I honed the name. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Well, there was one I started too.
Oh, there's one I just saw. I don't know. It disappeared. Somebody says we need to set up good picks. I remember. I don't know who said it. We need to set up good picks
to get Brunson free, and the Knicks don't have any.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I accidentally got rid of it.
Yeah, they always call in the screening on
Cat.
On Cat.
They always. Well, you know what? He actually does not say it. Like he actually moves. He actually moves when a lot of times they don't call it, but he always hip checks the guy he's screening.
That's true.
That's all I have. So if there's any things you guys want to talk about, anything in the chat you want to talk about,
Stuff you want to put the phones up.
Oh yeah. If anybody wants to call in, you can call in. Whether you want to talk about the game tomorrow, whether you want to talk about trades, we talked about that earlier. Whether you want to talk about if you think the Knicks are better or worse than their record.
Is this true? Is our defense ranked 16 in the league?
I thought it was at like 12 right now.
No.
So we're not.
It depends on what you're looking at. This is offensive rating. Are you looking at opponent field goal percentage? It depends on what metric you're looking at. But for offensive rating, we're 16. Defensive rating, excuse me.
Shots got to fall early for New York, or it could be curtains. And I agree with that, man. We got to come out the gate like swinging. We can't be playing cats up on that game tomorrow.
I don't know which team is going to show up just in the first 5 minutes. It's been hit or miss all season, so I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let me just put, just in case somebody wants to call in, I'll put that up. Anything else? Knicks Nation 112. It's been a minute, Knicks Nation. How you doing? How's work? What's going on? He said,
Queen, let me
points allowed.
So we're 12 and points allowed. Okay.
Let me ask a question, Pamela, in the chat.
Mhm.
Right now, and I'm not talking about individual talent, and I'm not talking about record. I'm talking about you watching the game. You know, there's what the record says and the wins and the losses, and when you're watching the game, like how you feel. Queen, that's why everybody is up. You know, when you look at the record, we have a very good record, but you watch the game, you're like, the team's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel this season, like up to this point, we have a better team than we had last season, or not last season that we could have had? Have we not pulled all these trades? And I'm talking about both. If we had the same team, meaning we had iHeart, we had Randall, we had DiVincenzo. If we had all these same elements this year, do you think we would have been a better team? I know we couldn't have them, but I'm just saying, let's just, you know.
So you're saying if we had the roster that we had last year, pretty much going
exactly
into
the
year,
same roster right now this year,
we'll have a better record. I don't know if it'd be a better team.
You say we'd have a better record. You're saying
correct, because
I agree with that.
Yeah, we have a better record. We just with the
we'd be a better team, but we wouldn't have a higher ceiling.
Right.
I think you're muted. I don't know if you're saying something. Like But our ceiling on this team is much, much higher, I think.
I don't think that team would have our record would be better right now. Playing Julius Randle at center?
No, we would
Heart.
If we had Heart and
yes.
That's not even fair. There's no way we could have had Heart.
I know, Queen. I said I know we couldn't, but let's just dream here for a moment. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and
if we still had iHeart,
he didn't need he couldn't he could have stayed and took the chip route rather than
press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. What's your name and where you're from?
Hey, Stephanie, it's Donald DiMichelli, not DiMichelli, Long Island, New York.
Okay.
Salute.
What's happening?
How you doing?
DiMichelli.
I'm good, crew. How you guys all doing? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Same to you, man.
Happy
What you
holidays.
got for us?
I tell you.
Did we lose him or is it me? Can you guys hear me?
I think we lost you, Don.
Oh, okay.
A big Randall fan. Never understood the hate the guy got here. You know, the thumbs down thing, man, that's it. And like the loud mouths always, make the most noise, but I think most people really appreciated the guy. They're just not as loud as the haters. He's 21, like 5-4 for them, and he didn't play since January, and they want to throw Finch under the bus over there in Minnesota, and now they're starting to realize, all right, I guess you did say we were going to give them 20 games. They're playing really good ball now, people. I think the Knicks are in trouble tomorrow night. The Knicks going to run into a buzzsaw tomorrow night. Cat's great, but the defense, man, for a Tibbs team, and I was talking about points allowed, that's usually the measuring stick, right? And we were like, I think 8 last year or even 5, and now we're 16. They're just very different players, Cat and Julius, so it's not fair to really compare them. Cat's really a 4, not a 5, and when Mitch gets back, I think the Knicks will be a really good team. But until then,
and I don't think, in terms of it not being fair to compare Cat and Julius, Randall wasn't helping our defense either. Like the change in our defense is not because Randall is not here.
Oh yeah, I think you're mistaken there. I don't think you're realizing how weak a defensive player Cat is. He does not play defense.
I agree with you, particularly rim protection. But Randall wasn't a juggernaut on defense either. Is what I'm saying.
He's a much better defender. He's much better defender than Cat. Cat let Randall give him 57 for the last year. All right, so Cat ain't stopped.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you on Cat. I'm arguing with you on Randall. Randall.
Okay, well,
he never played defense. He did not play defense. If
that's not true.
Listen, come on.
How could he never play defense?
If Durant was here, he would play defense. If it was Brown,
how could the Knicks be a much better defensive team with him last year? Okay, and granted, he didn't play the whole season, but this is the worst ranking.
Yeah, he wasn't the only factor.
Other players.
He wasn't the only. Minnesota was the number 1 defense with Cat.
Yeah, well, that's because they got that rim protector in Rudy, and we don't have that without
the
Nick.
Knicks had OG, they had DiVincenzo, they had a lot of players around Randall.
iHeart, don't forget iHeart, man.
And iHeart.
Yes, right. Well, the Wolves got even more players. They got a real bench. More in a lot of their games. And, they got a real offensive point guard, but that's only still the main guy there. But this kid Dillingham can ball. Makes Pollock look like a real G leaguer. And then Jalen McDaniels finally got his groove going, and he's been playing like career games. The last few games, he was probably the only underachieving guys aside Connolly, and it just took them 20 games to kind of get like the chemistry and the cohesion that like the Knicks are going through. And unfairly for the Knicks, they haven't had Mitch to really work on that cohesion and defensive with the switches and stuff. I think the Wolves are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And the Knicks have 2 wins over 500 teams, and one of them's the Suns without KD and Beasley. The Eastern Conference is so much weaker than the Western Conference. I think the Knicks are really a paper tiger right now.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you calling.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks for the call.
And I'm a big Knicks fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm still hoping. I'm going to probably root for them against the Wolves, but I just think that trade, like, really just, it didn't help us at all. And Mikal Bridges, oh my God, what a bust this guy's looking like. We gave up 5 picks for that guy. I mean, how much are we going to have to pay him too? He didn't want to sign the 2-year extension. He wants the bigger extension next year.
It's still early. I would put my money on Bridges being better.
As far as matchups, I don't see Jaden McDaniels guarding Brunson. Ant's going to guard Brunson. He's going to cover him like white on rice.
Well, last time we
Jaden
played
will
them,
be helping out, maybe.
the last time we played them last season, it was Jaden who played them. And if you want to burn Ant out running around after Brunson and expect him to score, be my guest.
Hey, let's do it.
Be my guest. I'm all for
Hey,
it.
the guy is an incredible athlete. He's like him and I mean, he's really like Michael Jordan 2.0. I knew how good he was, but I didn't really watch him like I have this year. He's freaking scary good. I mean, he's a special player. I mean, yeah, he's only like 24 years of age. He does whatever he wants. No stopping that guy one-on-one. Who's going to guard him? Mikal Bridges? One-on-one?
Well, the good thing
Probably.
about-
And here's the thing that the Knicks are missing. That, with Cat, and the only comparison I want to make that with Cat's an amazing three-point shooter, but he really doesn't. He doesn't like what Randall was awesome at, and I think he was like top 4 in the league, is 3-point assists from the paint. Randall's got that game where he goes downhill, and if you don't double team him, he's going to dunk the ball and probably get an end one. Cat don't have that in his arsenal. He's not the facilitator Randall is. Randall drew double teams that Cat doesn't draw. You can throw a freaking point guard guarding Cat. I mean, he's not backing down anybody in the paint. He really isn't.
But that's not his game.
And he doesn't draw.
Listen,
But he
that's not
doesn't
his
draw the
game.
double team.
That's
This
what
is
that
what's
part is
affecting
true.
Jalen.
That part is true. But we knew that when we got him, that the Knicks had to
That's hurting.
separate.
That's hurting Jalen.
Yeah, it
Hurting
is.
Jalen's game, not having anybody to take, where he can play off the ball and let Julius do a little like he does from Minnesota,
But I
bringing the
think we
ball
have
up.
that in
And
Bridges.
don't.
It's up to Thibodeau to use him.
I
Thibodeau
thought we
has
were
to
going to have
use him.
that with Bridges.
Bridges can't handle the ball.
He plays more minutes than anybody else on the team.
I mean, that's fair. That it
Doesn't he?
might be too much energy for him. I mean, that's fair. But anyway, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. We'll
You're welcome.
open the calls, more so you can call in more
You guys
often.
going to be on tomorrow night after the game?
Probably not.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you should do a show after the game tomorrow.
That's why we did this show today, so we don't have to do one tomorrow. That's actually the whole point.
Well, there'll be a lot to talk about after tomorrow night, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe over the weekend we'll pop up and do.
Or may the best team win.
May the Knicks win. I appreciate you.
Well, 2 of my favorite Knicks are playing over there now.
It don't matter to me. For me, it's about who's on the front of the jersey. The Knicks.
Yeah, well, the guy's the only All-Star we had since, aside from Jaden, since, Carmelo Anthony. And the disrespect we gave Julius Randle is just supposed to be knowledgeable fans. I mean, guys, not you guys. I mean, you guys all respected Julius. So many fans like this. Oh, yeah, get rid of Julius. Yeah, look at us now. We're going to win 14. You're going to go 14-2 in January this year? Anybody think that?
Listen, this team
What did we do?
has a higher ceiling than the team with Julius Randle. I'm a Julius Randle fan. We just gotta let it
No,
play
no
itself
way.
out.
No.
We'll see. We'll see. But we gotta go.
It
We
was a
gotta
two,
go.
It was a two
Appreciate you.
2-for-1
Appreciate
trade. You lost Randy Devo too. Good. God
got
bless.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the call.
Come on now, Donald. You got to be a Knicks fan. Okay, you're not 100. I understand Randall is playing in Minnesota. You know, wish him the best. But no, it's the Knicks winning.
My man Don said, "I'm gonna probably root for him tomorrow." That's what's up. Hey man, some fans love our players, man.
Yeah.
The passion's still there. He's still a Knicks fan. He just,
Yeah. Paris Duggan said Randall is an all-star. Oh, I'm a Randall fan and I've been over it. And
718-300-7811
is an all-star this year, and Randall isn't.
Trav made a Randall song, so he definitely was a fan.
Call from
It's Dre at KDM.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hey, Dre.
Oh, what up,
Hey,
KBM?
what's up, guys?
Dre, what up, man?
What's up? Up to the panel. I think I'm bringing a little bit of levity because, damn, you would think the whole team sucks with this last call, man. Like the whole team trash. Nobody got talent. We ain't got no all-stars, no all-NBA guys. Just this guy's just dribbling the ball out. Just no talent.
And Randall is the reason why our defense is where it is.
Oh my God, man! It's just like I love Randall. I love Randall for the tenacity, the intensity that he brought. But like, can we dial it down a little bit? Like, okay, he'll be fine. We'll be fine. I think the thing that people just get twisted, like torn to bits about is like we romanticize defense so much. No offense to the people that watch the '90s Knicks, but how many championships them defenses won? Maybe a new approach is something that you need. Sorry, maybe you need to focus in on offense at some point. Because you know damn well Patrick Ewing needed some offense on that team besides him.
Oh my God.
But to not to completely go hone in on his point, I wanted to see, like, I wanted to check in and check the temperature on, like, what is like the main concern in this next game upcoming for you guys? Is it the size? Because I think we've struggled in the past when we don't necessarily have our shot going against teams that are bigger than us. Because when we don't have a shot going, if Cat is not on the court, we're getting dominated on the glass. We're not getting boards. We're basically out hustled. We saw it against the Jazz. I think that's my main concern. What are you guys kind of concerned about against this Minnesota team?
The size, the rebounding, but also the emotionality of Cat. He's a big part of how we play. And I agree with Jerrell. He either going to go out and kill him or he's going to put up a fat dud because of the emotionality. And we need him to be effective. So that's my concern. What about you guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Little bit of the same. I think it's all about Cat tomorrow. I have a gut feeling that he's not going to have a good game just because it's the first game. But I hope I'm wrong, and he just turned into a superhero. But a whole bunch of whatever steps said with the emotions and stuff like that. I 100% agree with that.
What do we mean by big game regarding Cat? Because Tibbs is say he had 20 and 16 and that's a good game, but for us that's not going to hold it down for us. So what are we looking at Cat for this game?
40 plus.
That's what I'm talking about.
To me, well, he might get 40, but to me, like against the premier bigs in this league, he's had big games against all of them. We saw him against Joel. He had a great game that game, particularly at the start. He had a really good game against the Bucks. He had them out of sorts, and he had an excellent game against Denver. So, like in the quote unquote big games, I guess the ones where he's matched up against premier bigs, he's kind of shown up. Now, is he going against a prototypical premier offensive type big tonight or tomorrow? Not necessarily. But I think there are things we're going to exploit defensively. Like, if they're going to play heavy drop, if it's one thing that we're good at exploiting is drop defense. That's the only thing that we've been consistent at doing the entire year. So if they're going to run that drop with Rudy Gobert, I anticipate us actually scoring some points, even though I think the last 6 or 7 games, Minnesota's had like the number one defense. We went against the number one defense not too long ago in Orlando and kind of blew the doors off of them. They kind of adjusted. We got a little bit closer to me in the last game, but I anticipate us scoring some points. As long as we get, like, in my mind, if we score 110 points, I don't think we should have an issue winning.
Right. Wow. All right. Anybody else? Ajay, any concerns about tomorrow's game? To Dre's question.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that we haven't already touched up on. You know,
Dre,
it's depends.
I might make it in to the next show. I'm gonna tune in.
You got
I'll
that.
let y'all guys later.
That link is the forever link.
Oh yeah. It's starred in the Gmail. It's starred.
Okay.
At the top.
Through the Dre.
All right. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah, salute to Dre, man.
Dre.
Yeah, I forgot about that stuff. See, I called out sick last week, and this Steph go bring in the ring and bring in Dre. Now I'm saying, try to take my spot. I see you, Steph. I see you. I see Dre on the show. I was like,
thinking about taking another week off.
I got back.
We did the Huck Porty Jericho Sims.
Right now, I'm saying I had to get
under that ass. You're like, oh, I'm gonna have to be back here.
Look, and then Geoff sick the next week. Here come Delusional. Now I'm saying. So shit. Hey, yo, Ajay, you better watch out.
I know, man. I know.
Look, there's a one thing: no one could definitely replace you guys. You guys are definitely irreplaceable. Trust me.
Jerrell, that's why when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, man, I showed up, bro. I made sure I was here.
That was my bad. I didn't know it was rough like that. I didn't know how she tried to Daniel Jones.
Look, Tibbs, man. Tibbs don't play.
Yeah, man.
I was just trying to bring people on. Whether y'all was here or not, we would have just had 5 or 6.
Salute to Dre, man. He was awesome.
Yeah,
he always
definitely was. He
Dre's a
definitely
legend,
was.
man. Salute to Dre.
Yeah, just a few more comments and we out of here. It's already 11:23 and today Wednesday. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Right, I know. I only have a couple started. I don't know if you want to go through all of them.
Just do your couple and we out of here.
Look, I'm on vacation. That's why y'all guys are seeing me.
Oh,
So.
see. Don't be trying to keep us up all late because you ain't got to go to work tomorrow.
Right.
Randall been on the trade block all season. Is that really true? Are they really trying to trade him? I mean, they're playing better now. I don't know. I don't know if they give up on somebody that fast.
Well, ain't it the money situation as well too?
Yeah, because he's due for an extension too.
So then why trade for him in the first place? I guess just to dump Cat's
it
salary.
It ain't 50-60 million.
Yeah, to dump the Cat salary. Even if they don't obtain Julius Randle next season, then look how much money they have on the books.
Yeah. All right, we lost continuity. JB's the only starter who started last season and this year. So shout out to Knicks Nation 112.
Yeah.
That's a good point. East Blue Drew says, I don't trust McCall on Ant. Like, listen, I don't trust anybody on Ant.
Okay.
Trap early, switch, and throw different bodies. That's all we can do.
You can only
try. I would see if he gets off first before I try. I mean, you always run the risk though that once they do get off, but I don't know if I want to come out trapping from the gate.
He might just have a bad game just by himself, man. Just let him. Yeah, let's.
Because he takes a lot of threes. He just takes a lot of threes off the dribble. I mean, that's one of the complaints about him is that he doesn't put a lot of pressure on the defense by going to the rim as much as he should or can, I should say.
Listen, man, I'd rather him take threes. I don't want no crazy dunks here get him going, all right? Because you know him, he dunks hard. I don't want to come. I don't want no highlights tomorrow, please.
He dunks hard.
It's still 2 points, Ed.
Still just 2 points, man.
Yeah, but I don't want to see like 5 Ant-Man dunk on the NBA top 10 player of the day the following day. All right.
Yeah, that's been a knock on Ant this season from the fans too, that he takes too many threes, because he said he worked on that all summer, like taking more threes and stuff. But in the beginning of the season, he was hitting them. He's not really hitting them like that no more. So the fans loved it when they was falling, but now he needs to go to the basket, stop shooting.
All right. Shout out to Patch Dog. It says Cat is an all-star this year. Julius Randle is not. I don't know. You guys, what do you guys think? You think Cat, you think he's gonna get the votes, or at least the coaches will put him in.
If Cat don't make the All-Star team with these numbers the way that he's playing, he's leading the league in rebounds.
Yeah.
Like if he don't get the nod to be an All-Star, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
It's best Eastern big plus playing right now, to be honest.
Yeah, he should be a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Knicks Nation 112 says it's going to take time and chemistry to grow. Put Josh on the bench and get someone in the starting lineup with a Randall RJ mentality. I thought that was, I thought that we better vets it would allow
Rooks, great.
Rooks, yeah, Rooks greater than Burn.
That reminds me of something. Speaking of that, because I saw it on Twitter. What about John Collins? A lot of John Collins is a name from Utah that a lot of people are throwing around.
Listen, Utah not trading nothing with us, man.
Yeah, you stay away from Danny Ainge.
Well, I'm just talking about him. Forget the Danny Ainge part. Like if we could get him and for not a crazy price, just take Danny Ainge out of it. How does he fit? Like if we could get him, or would he fit?
So yeah, at the 4.
Still, right?
Say that again, Steph.
He played the same position as Precious, right? 4.
He's a 4, yeah, but he'd be
he'd be a starter.
Yeah, he'd start at the 4.
That means Josh Hart would come off the bench.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
I'll bench him for Collins, definitely.
Yeah, not saying that we could get him. I'm just saying he is a name out there that is a possibility. But I do definitely know that Danny Ainge.
Look, what does he see? Like 6'8", athletic, can shoot the ball. He can space it a little bit. I don't know how he is on defense. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's a reason why Atlanta it might have been money for Atlanta.
I thought it was money, to be honest.
I thought that they had all the forwards. They went and got Hunter. They had
Johnson.
So
Jalen Johnson.
Him as well.
Yeah.
But it'd be a good look.
I don't know if he's the defender that we need, but okay. I'm not mad at Collins.
Well, we kind of just mentioned that. I didn't see that.
Do you think? I think he is in the run. I don't think he'll get it, but I think he's in the conversation.
Yeah, as long as we keep winning.
I mean, the way Shea is playing, the way Giannis is playing, the way Jokic is playing, he's definitely playing on that caliber. Just they're just doing it a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah, he's up there.
But he's been doing it all season. Giannis.
But then do we add Brunson there as well, or his numbers are similar to that? Well, no, he was averaging 28. Yeah, he's like what 24.9 right now.
You expect it to come down a little, right, with the players he has around them.
Right,
he's got more help around him. One thing I worry about is all the foul trouble Cat can get into. That he's really clumsy. Like it kills me with those picks, man. He said really bad picks. Yeah, and a lot of those calls are offensive. And then Queen, that's one of the reasons why I don't like him driving to the basket. By the way, he gets foul. He commits offensive foul when he drives to the basket.
Yeah,
a lot. Like they don't call him a lot of times, but when they call him 2-3 times in a game, that kind of slows you down. You can't really be aggressive.
I don't know if the offensive fouls is on the drives.
They call him on the drives. They call him on the hip checks.
The hook. He used to
on the hook
when he goes by.
He drove 1,200 times, and they may have called that like 3 times. I don't think that's
plus
1,200 from that.
in that 1,200, he falls really hard.
Well,
1,100 times.
There's
too much stuff going on here on the drives, man.
Yeah, if he drives 1,200, Cat on the ground at least 875 of those.
Yep.
He cannot just be a 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he got to drive.
Oh, he doesn't drive. He doesn't post, or he doesn't shoot.
He could roll. There are other stuff.
Yeah, I guess we're saying he has to drive to the basket though.
I said that's fine, but I don't want that to be the main the main recipe. He
Okay.
drive. I don't want him to drive 10 times, 12 times a game.
Only reason I don't like that because he don't get foul calls like I think he should. But I'm a Knicks fan, so I might be a little biased. He be getting crashed down there.
Yeah.
And they don't call nothing. Like it's weird.
Because and Brunson is getting manhandled, and they're not called.
Yep. Yeah, I don't really get it, but
can I bring up scenario? We talked about the pick and roll with Cat. Do we? I haven't really caught that many games, but I've seen a lot. Besides the Brunson and pick and roll, do we see Cat using a screen for Mikal? Do we see Cat using a screen for anyone else besides Brunson?
No.
Nah. Right? That's okay. Cool. I thought I was the only one.
I was about to say, I ain't got nothing else for you, bro. Like, no, we do not see that.
So I'm like, we got to utilize that more. Like you said, Mikal. I had to go back to look at some of the Nets highlight. He was getting a lot of high screen and roll action where he was able to hit those mid range or dish it off. So I'm like, why are we only using Brunson for that and Cat for that pick and roll? You should switch that up. Have Brunson sitting on a wing on a corner at least one play as a deterrent. They're gonna have to stay with Brunson if he's posted up on the wing. You run that pick and roll action at the top. They're gonna have to dive on Cat. He could pass that off to Brunson on the wing. That's a 3. So I'm like, we gotta mix it up. Tibbs.
But I mean, honestly, offense is not our issue, really. I mean, I can see if offense, was our issue, we'd be like, you know what, we got to do some more things again. I mean, we're not even taking advantage of the basic stuff that that we're doing. Shout out to Dre who said we haven't seen inverted, screens, inverted pick and rolls as well, because Cat can run a pick and roll himself. With Minnesota, they did the big pick and roll. So
that is true.
But that would take away less energy from Brunson to play defense in the other end, though. So give it a take.
I hear what you're saying.
The only reason I don't complain about the offense is simply because we're good at it, and it's hard for me to complain while we're good at it. But if it was up to me, I will pick and roll people to death.
Look,
it will be the play every time we go down the court.
That Detroit game sits in my head. That Utah game sits in my head. I think, and I said that's why it's really those games because those are
the
Atlanta game too.
Yeah, you mind if I vent real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. We got a little time.
I gotta vent about that Atlanta game, right?
Go tomorrow.
Because look, Josh comes out and talk about, oh guys, everybody's complaining, we will be better. We just need time to get it together. Look, we're talking about a Knicks team that fan base that wants to win, right? We've been yearning to win. So we're in a position to actually get some hardware, right? Regardless if it's the tournament hardware. Like, we're looking forward to that. You're going against Atlanta that you are now coming into this rivalry, but we do have a rivalry with Atlanta. So that's a game that game means something. So he can't just come out and speak nonchalant. Oh yeah, guys, you don't worry about that. We got 82 more games, this and this and that. Granted, yes, you do. And that's not the championship, but us Knicks fans, like, we need that. That was something that we wanted. So you cannot just throw that at us and say, we got other games, we're going to get it together. That, I was like, yo, Josh, like, I ride with you, but I'm not riding with that statement. You can't just, after that loss, right? You got manhandled, dude playing casino craps on the floor on the home court. You can't allow that to happen. And then for the next day, you be all nonchalant. And then go record a podcast and have a whack person on your podcast after that.
That was hate.
Right? I'm like, come on. So, that's my only riff is when I see that. And then it's like, nah, man, like, I'm on my couch and I have these ideas. Granted, I'm nowhere near the caliber of mine that Tibbs is or those guys that are playing. They played on a way higher level. Me playing on the JUCO D3 is nothing compared to them. So I get all of that. But when I see this and I have that mindset, then you shut it down like it's nothing. I'm like, come on, bro. Like it's something there for us as a fan base. Yes, we're gonna be emotional when we see the lackluster, we see certain things and we call it out. Everyone knows that Knicks fans know sports. So it's no riff with that. Like everybody know that we know sports. So when we have our opinion, it really means something. So for him to come out, that definitely bothered me on that aspect, man. Definitely.
I get it.
Definitely.
I definitely get that.
I'm still pissed at you know, Queen. You know I'm gonna be pissed about that all season. Next season I'm gonna be talking about
RJ still pissed by stuff that happened in '96.
The Nets lost 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why
that was a bad loss, man.
It really was though. Steph. I ain't gonna lie, I might be a little bit pissed about that loss. that Brooklyn loss did piss me off.
Oh my God.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. That would piss me off too.
And ultimately, great point. My mindset was like, they didn't want to go to Vegas. They didn't want to play those extra games. They got this full game off stretch that they wanted to recover on. That was my mindset, but I didn't want to think like that because that would sound like a hater and all of that. But I'm like, we needed that, bro. We needed that. It was kind of a smooth sailing because you would have had to play Milwaukee, and we already dismantled Milwaukee. So it's the confidence.
Early Milwaukee.
This is early. That is true. That is true.
We lost. We ain't quit. We quit. I don't know about all that. I don't think we quit.
They didn't want that Vegas trip, man, which is crazy.
Let me tell you this Atlanta loss is going to go down in Knick history, man. I mean, the fan base was really. I spoke to Boogie today. He was down on the Knicks.
Boogie down on the Knicks is crazy.
He was like cat going all like this against Toronto, and then we get to Atlanta and lose. He said, we might need another coach, man. I said, but we 16 and 10. It's like this season.
You see what the Knicks do to us, man? You see what the Knicks do though? Like if Jay Boogie is saying stuff like that, that's crazy. Like we got a problem, man.
So that was still alive. It's good to see JJ back in the chat. I know he wasn't. We missed him for the Knicks and Bruises show. I know he was still recovering. But it's good to see him back.
Yeah, man.
Oh God.
We mad emotional about this team, man.
Right. We national television game. Give them more.
Wait. Delusional. That was the only game going on.
Only game
that night.
They had the TNT panel up there too as well, right? You know they don't care about that. So
listen, I avoided thing like a plague on YouTube.
It was all cylinders.
It kept popping up on my. I'm like, I'm not watching that. I'm not trying to watch Shaq. Where I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, and I watched it. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I have a choice, but I watched the MSG feed.
Yeah, I watched the MSG one.
For the game.
I watched the TNT on purpose because I knew the Knicks was going to win. So I wanted to hear greatness coming out of these guys' mouth. But then, of course, that's
funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
But thank you for letting me vent.
Yeah, no doubt. Watch it. Yeah, it is annoying, JJ. It is annoying.
Why Shaq hate the Knicks? Remember, Shaq probably grew up a Nets fan. He from Jersey. I think he grew up a Nets fan.
Yeah, but he idolized Patrick Ewing though, so I don't understand his deal. Like he's a confused guy, man.
Patrick Ewing, Patrick Ewing, not the Knicks.
Not the Knicks. He wasn't the Knicks.
That hate is I mean, he can't even hide it. You're supposed to be like whatever.
When they talk about the Knicks, like if the Knicks win, Shaq won't even say anything for that segment.
He mad. He be mad.
He won't talk. When we went to Atlanta, we lost to Atlanta. He was so giddy. I was like, Shaq, relax.
When the Knicks win, Shaq's like a little kid you put on timeout. Like he pissed. You put him in the corner somewhere. Tell him, be quiet. Like he really pissed when the Knicks win. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But Barkley.
Well, yeah, we got Barkley at least. Yeah.
And like Kenny now talking about Ken NY. Relax. It was last season sometime when Ernie said, your team is playing. That's not my team. That's not my team. Now it's Kenny NY. No, we don't need no halftime fans.
Yeah, I remember when he switched the handkerchief when we lost that game. I remember all that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But, and they had Doris Burke broadcasting on TNT talking and as an analyst. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jerrell. Even that was bad.
Yeah.
Did you remember that, JJ?
Yep.
That's not my name. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
I was just gonna say he from Queens. Like, he from the city, so I don't get it. I really don't get it with Kenny, but maybe he didn't grow up a Knicks fan either. Not everybody in New York grew up a Knicks fan. So
yeah, facts.
Kind of weird that he's a basketball player that didn't grow up as a Knicks fan from Queens, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, Jalen Durham, Amani. Yeah, he's not playing that well this season. Durham for Detroit. No, he was saying he was talking about Durham was the one that we let get away.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah. But we needed that to get Brunson though.
See,
unless there was another way.
I think it has to be another way. I wanted during that draft. Like that was my favorite player in the draft, and I wanted him. But it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Any last words?
Nah, man.
A couple of quick things here.
Okay.
Shout out to Amani being going back to Julius Randle. He said they loved Julius Randle because the coach liked him in New Orleans.
Had him in New Orleans.
Yeah, liked him.
Yep.
He's a fan liked him.
I don't know. Sometimes when I be listening to the content creators.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of that hate.
Those fans, I don't know how much love there is, Amani. They be getting on Randall.
Yep.
A little bit of love.
A little bit of love.
And shout out to Wiz who said, what about Queen's side piece, Herb Jones?
Herb Jones. We talked about Herb Jones, man.
Yeah, I know. JJ told me we talked about that earlier.
Oh, yeah. We talked about Herb Jones.
Trey Murphy.
Yep.
Brandon Ingram with his injury-prone ass. And Nick Richards. Those my guys.
Yep. Wiz, from New Orleans.
Wiz, we also talked about trading Deuce, so it's a good thing you weren't here earlier.
Yes, we did. We was talking about trading Deuce. Yes, we did. Whole segment on it too.
If we needed
to
significantly upgrade the roster.
We was gonna boot his ass out of here, Wiz.
Not a throw.
You missed it.
Yeah, man. All right, that's it, Queen.
Yep.
Fire show as always. Shout out to Mega, always rocking with us.
Definitely.
Shout out to the chat. Hit the like button on the way out.
Yes. How many likes we got? We had 104. We have 104 listening. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Jerrell, appreciate you holding me down from the very first show. Ajay, I appreciate you taking care of the chat.
Always a pleasure.
And Delusional, man. I know. I guess only on the holidays we're gonna see.
Nah, look, I got an assistant now, so I won't have to take as much trips work-wise. So I'm gonna definitely try to put in some more time. Like I said, I enjoy this. I miss this definitely because this is good for my cerebellum. This is good for just talking Knicks with you guys and chat with the family. Like I said, I haven't done my show personally in over a year, so this is a way I can help out and express and get it out. So I just appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you definitely
and bringing me back with open arms without because I definitely got a lot of DMPs. I was Ben Simmons it this year, so I appreciate you guys.
You part of the fam.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
You are definitely part of the fam. I appreciate everybody in the chat. It's going late, so I'm not gonna shout everybody out, but I appreciate I appreciate all of you. Appreciate the callers as well. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. And for all the old heads that come in week in and week out, I definitely appreciate you.
Queen, real quick. We probably have a game the day after Christmas, right? Because there's a Christmas game. There's a Christmas Day game, or we have in a game show after Christmas on the 26th. That's a Thursday.
Yeah, we play on Friday.
We play on Friday, but we play on Wednesday.
And
we play
Friday.
on Christmas
Wednesday and Friday.
Okay. I mean, I'm down if you guys are down. I don't know what you're doing the day after Christmas, but I'm down.
All right, we'll see.
I don't know.
I mean, the chat, yeah, just y'all got your notification on, so when the show comes on, you guys get notified. we don't know yet, basically.
Yeah, the bat signal will come out.
Yeah. Right. All right, fam. Until next time. Peace.
Bruises.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope soul.
Where you at?
Dope soul.